What's going on, Read My Lips people? We are back. So, Cory Booker seems to be feeling some kind of way. Cory Booker is not happy. You see, Cory Booker did not make the debate stage, ladies and gentlemen. And it's not because he's a bad candidate. It's not that he couldn't achieve the goals that were set out and laid out in front of him. It's because the things that DNC has laid out, the goals that they have laid out, have unintended consequences. And ladies and gentlemen, those consequences are, they end up being discriminatory to people of color. Now, anybody that watches my channel knows I cringe at identity politics. And I know some people like it. I know some people love identity politics. Some people thrive on identity politics. Some people base their whole choice of who they're choosing to vote for off of identity politics. And I can't do it. I just think it's too shallow. And I think it gets abused and skewed, sort of like what Cory Booker is doing right now. You see, Cory Booker couldn't achieve the goals that they laid out for him. And now he's saying, well, look what it's doing. Now you're leaving out black people. You're leaving out people of color. I mean, of course, Andrew Yang has made the debate stage. He set out and accomplished the goals that the DNC has laid out for him. He did it. Grassroots, baby. He did it. And if you're not considering Andrew Yang a person of color or diverse, then that just shows where your mind is at. Andrew Yang is Asian American. And Asia, when you're talking about Asian American, that's a large spectrum. Okay? He is considered a person of color, whether you like it or not. I know when you say person of color, you might have a different idea in your head, but Andrew Yang is Asian American. We cannot forget that. He is as diverse can get. So what Cory Booker has done is he's written a letter to the DNC. He whined and he complained. And he asked them, well, can you just, ease up a little bit? Have it be one of the two thresholds, not both? That way we can still get people of color in. People can hear my voice. Because it's not fair that people like Tom Steyer can buy their way into the elections. It's just not fair. It's not right. It ain't right. Billionaire money is influencing the election. Goddamn billionaire money. Because of that billionaire money, my voice can't be heard. And now you don't have a person of color representing on that stage. But of course, Cory Booker, you are the second highest person to receive billionaire money. The first was Kamala Harris. Now, damn, that's ironic. The two people of color that were on the stage at one point have received oodles of billionaire money. Oodles. So, let me get this right. Tom Steyer isn't allowed to use his billionaire money. But you're allowed to receive billionaire money and be on the debate stage. Now that just, something about that just don't sit right with me, Cory Booker. And first of all, you're being absolutely rude in so many ways by not including Andrew Yang and this diversity that you call for on stage. And two, where the hell were you when Tulsi Gabbard was complaining and bringing up the issue that what the DNC has set out, the goals that they've set out, were unfair? Now, if you don't want to consider Andrew Yang a person of color, all right, fine. You don't want to consider him a person of color. So you're going to tell me Tulsi Gabbard isn't as well? You going to tell me Tulsi Gabbard isn't? Is that what you're going to tell me? So Tulsi Gabbard complained. She told the DNC how she felt. Crickets. Crickets. Nobody had her back. Nobody had her back. Nobody. She's been fighting these motherfuckers alone the entire time. I didn't hear you speak up. I didn't hear you bark loud. And you wrote a letter to the DNC, and they're considering it. They're considering it. When Tulsi stepped up and she said how she felt, you complain about it. Oh, okay, Cory. Okay, we'll really look at this, Cory. We gotta. You're right. We gotta. Come on, man. Look, the hypocrisy. I smell the hypocrisy. Can you not smell the hypocrisy? And the whining. You're whining. You're whining because you weren't good enough to checkmark the goals they set out for. Can you imagine if Andrew Yang didn't make it and he went to the DNC saying, look, I feel you guys don't have enough diversity. You don't have a Asian American on stage. So you need an Asian American voice on stage. He'd get reamed no lube. Everybody else would be reaming him no lube. All the Booker fans, all the Steyer fans, all the Booty Judge fans, reaming him no lube. Cory Booker complains. Oh, okay, yeah, you're right. He's got no chance. Cory Booker is not going to win. Cory Booker is not going to be president of the United States. Stop it. At least not now. I like Cory Booker. I really do. I like him. He's grown on me over time. During the debates, he's grown on me. But Cory Booker is not the next president of the United States. Hit the goals they set out. It was crickets when Tulsi complained. It was crickets. Man, oh man. The Hill Rising spoke on this a little bit. We're just going to play a little bit from The Hill Rising. And then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about it some more.
Senator Cory Booker is very upset that he won't be up on the Democratic primary debate stage on Thursday. So much so, he basically forced all the qualified rival candidates to come to his defense in a letter sent to the DNC chairman Tom Perez asking to consider a rule change, allowing candidates to make the stage if they make either the polling threshold or the requisite number of donations. Booker's letter and his public rhetoric is centered around the idea the DNC rules are inherently discriminating against regular candidates like him because billionaires like Tom Steyer and Michael Bloomberg are outspending him. He's gone so far as to say the DNC's framework is having the, quote, unintended consequence of excluding people of color. There's just one problem with this, of course. There's a candidate of color named Andrew Yang up there on the debate stage. Nobody seems to notice he didn't have any problems hitting the polling qualifications or the number of donations. Furthermore, when female candidate of color Tulsi Gabbard complained about the debate rules excluding her from the stage in the past, her treatment when she's on the stage, how many other candidates do you think rallied to her defense? One of the funnier parts about Cory Booker's protests against billionaires being able to buy their way into the race is he's actually the second most number of billionaire donations, totaling 45. The only person that beats him is Kamala Harris, who had 46. She also blamed billionaire spending for her lack of ability to continue her failed campaign and fall from top-tier status. American people and the Democratic electorate, they've had their say on Cory Booker, and they don't like what they see. As journalist Jed Jelani and friend of the show pointed out after Booker's protest, he's the only other candidate in the race who has sanctioned super PACs running ads for his campaign. Furthermore, he even has an entire documentary on Netflix called Street Fight, and stats from past debates reveal that he gets way more speaking time than he deserves on the stage relative to his polling position. A guy named Andrew Yang, who nobody knew a year ago, still beat him to the stage. That isn't racism, that's actual democracy. Ow! Well, anonymous campaign aides said it pretty plainly in the New York Times, telling a reporter they all signed the letter because if they didn't, they risked looking racist in the press or at the very least not supportive of people of color.
So, yeah, absolutely absurd. Absolutely absurd. Again, if you don't want to consider Yang a person of color. If that's just too much for you, if you say you can't align him in that wording, okay, fine, whatever. But you cannot argue that he's diverse, and you cannot argue that that he's a minority, and you cannot argue that he hasn't hit every single threshold that they put there. And look, all the Dems signed off on it. All the Dems signed off on the letter that Cory Booker put out there because, get this, they were afraid of coming off as racist. So even if you don't agree with what Booker's saying, you had to sign it. You felt compelled to sign it. You felt pressured to sign it because you were afraid that you were going to come off as racist. And then the other thing is, if they really felt that Cory Booker was a threat, they wouldn't have signed it. They also signed it because, all right, fine, let Cory Booker on there, whatever. He's not going to become the next president of the United States. I'm not worried about him. Under what Booker wants as the new threshold to choose one or the other, Bloomberg would be on that stage. Bloomberg could technically be on that stage. So you'd have another billionaire on that stage. It's just whiny. It just comes off as whiny, Cory. It comes off as whiny. If you would have been there, standing for Tulsi, standing strong for Tulsi, when she was going through what she was going through and butting heads against the DNC and the polls that they choose, because they were throwing polls that she succeeded in out the window. If you would have been there strong for her, all right, maybe we got something to talk about. But you weren't. And you're just upset that the billionaires are spending money on themselves and not pouring more money into you. That's all it is. And then also as well, Cory Booker, his reflection on where he is in the polls does not reflect his speaking time. He gets an outrageous amount of speaking time versus where he is in the polls. Like, come on, give me a break. They cut this guy so much slack on that debate stage. They let him speak much, much more than his numbers should allow. And meanwhile, Yang's numbers, they're doing the opposite of. They're trying to give him the least amount of speaking time. Utterly absurd. So, yeah, I just wanted to bring that to you guys. Cory Booker, whining and complaining, pretty much, neglecting that Andrew Yang exists, right? That he doesn't bring diversity to the stage. When he made this current debate that's coming up, it was in the headlines. People were saying, like, wow, Andrew Yang is bringing diversity to the stage, and Asian Americans going to be on the stage, blah, 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 blah. And you couldn't ignore those. I know you saw those, but you're still choosing to ignore it. And again, his wording is people of color. He's not really saying diversity, but that's what it boils down to. What, like their skin has to be browner than Yang's for it to be diverse? Is that what you're alluding to? You didn't make it. When Gabbard didn't make it, she went and she grinded, and she still did what she had to do, and she was getting her message across. Instead, you whined. So, yeah, man, just absolutely annoying. It just came off as annoying when I saw that. It just came off as annoying. So, well, I mean, again, he got, a lot of people to sign off on it. A lot of people agreed, to choose, one of the thresholds, the polling or the money, and we'll see what comes of that. We will see what comes of that. I'll be watching intensely. So yeah, in other news, Evelyn Yang. I'm trying to get an interview with Evelyn Yang. We are doing the Secure the Yang challenge, and Read My Lips is in it. Me. And we're trying to raise $50,000. And I have an ActBlue link in the description below. And if you want to donate to Andrew Yang through my ActBlue link, that will help me increase the chances of getting an interview with Evelyn Yang. So I was in a contest not too long ago. What is it, a month ago? Time's flying. And it was to interview Andrew Yang. I did not win that contest, but my channel raised over $2,000, which, again, thank you all so much for. And it ended up being Paget, Kai, and Hustle. And they had an amazing interview. So since I did not get the opportunity to interview Andrew Yang, let's shoot for Evelyn. And I think that will be an incredible interview. And the questions will be questions that we're not used to seeing, right? We'd be getting an interview from the other side of, the spectrum. We'd be getting an interview from somebody who is, married to the person that's trying to become the president of the United States. So I think it'll be an incredibly interesting interview. And if you want to see me get that interview, please go to the description below and donate through my ActBlue link. And yeah, that's it. So if you like what you see, if you like what you hear, please like, comment, and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. If you don't, let me know in the comment section why. I'm always down to talk about it. Also, I have a PayPal, a Cash App, and a Venmo link in the description below. Please feel free to donate to read my lips. Every little bit helps my channel grow. As of right now, every donation I'm getting is going to go to me traveling to New Hampshire, meeting up with Russell from Grassroots, and meeting Andrew Yang for the first time. So, Cash App, PayPal, Venmo in the description below. Please feel free to donate. Hopefully I'll be talking to you guys soon. Have a good one. Peace.